What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video, I'm actually very excited to share this one with you because this is the very first time I've actually tried to recreate something from a movie or TV show. And as you can probably already tell by the title of this video, we are building the house from Gilmore Girls. So this is Lorelai and Rory's residence in Stars Hollow, obviously from Gilmore Girls. I feel like most of us are familiar with the show. It's such a cozy, easy thing to watch, and it's just so classic, it's so iconic. But full disclosure, I actually only watched it for the very first time last fall. I'd never watched it before. I think maybe it's also because I'm from Europe, which I know these days is not an excuse, but when it aired all those years ago, it wasn't immediately on TV here. And even if it was, I think I might have been a little bit too young to enjoy it already. So I don't know, it probably came to just regular TV here in the Netherlands years later, but I just wasn't aware. And then obviously the streaming services started to become a thing and it was on there, but I had just never watched it before. And so last year I was asking around mostly on Twitch because that's where we would talk about this kind of stuff. We actually still do. I do a live stream on Twitch, which is actually where I built this house too. But yeah, last year, around this time of year, maybe a little bit before, like end of summer, like August or something like that, I was starting to look for just cozy things to watch during fall that would really get me into the fall, like autumnal spirit of it all. And literally everyone, or not everyone, but a lot of people suggested I watch Gilmore Girls. And so that's when I finally caved. I was like, okay, yeah, let's give that a go. I literally did not know the first thing about this show. I had heard of it before because the title is just very famous. I feel like it's just very well known all around. But I had not the slightest clue of what it was about, and I just did not know anything about it at all. So I started watching it, and immediately it just became such like a safe space for me to escape to. It's such a comfort show to watch, and I just felt so cozy and just like I said, in my little safe space, in my little bubble when I was watching this. And it was perfect for the season. Obviously, it's very cozy and autumnal. Even though they basically cover all the seasons, I do believe that, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that every season covers a full year. So you do get to see like all the seasons of the year throughout one season of Gilmore Girls, if that makes sense. So there's always autumn, there's always winter with Christmas, and then there's always spring and there's summer, of course, a little bit there as well. But for some reason, because of the cozy vibes, and they do focus on fall and winter for the most part, I feel, so that's why it's just very, like, it's very seasonal and just very cozy, and I love this show so much. Immediately after I had watched all the seasons, I was like, yeah, this is just right off the bat one of my all-time favorite shows. It's so fun. I actually started my second watch through. I think this is just going to become like an annual thing for me now, as it is for a lot of people, I believe. A lot of Gilmore Girls fans just rewatch it every single fall, and I think that's how it's going to be for me. I started my second watch through a few weeks ago, and I'm currently on season 2, so yeah, it's going pretty fast. It's so binge watch worthy, and I can't stop when I start to watch it, so I just love it so much. Let me know. I want to know if you are a Gilmore Girls fan, if you've seen it before, if you've never seen it before, if it's something that you would be interested in. I feel like if you've seen it before, this house, the blue Gilmore Girls house, is just such a staple. It's so iconic. I feel like everyone that has seen the show will recognize the house immediately when you see it in a photo or just like in a Sims build or like in a Legos build or whatever. I've seen those around too, which is actually really cool. You'll immediately probably recognize the blue Gilmore Girls house because it's just so iconic. And I was actually very nervous to start this build. I've never done any TV show or movie builds before, because the perfectionist in me just kind of steers away from it. As much as I want to do it, and I have been wanting to do builds like this. I just never end up doing it because I'm always so scared. Like, I'm so afraid I get stuff wrong, or that it's not accurate, or that I can't figure it out and that it will frustrate me, or that other people are going to be like, actually, this is wrong, you know, like that sort of a thing. But I have decided that I do not care if it's wrong or not all the way accurate. It is a TV set after all. So I just wanted to have fun with this, and I love Gilmore Girls so much, and I wanted to embrace the fall season and the Gilmore Girls coziness by just creating this build in The Sims in Brindleton Bay in the fall. Like, how perfect is that for the season? I felt like Stars Hollow and Brindleton Bay are kind of similar, so I feel like Brindleton Bay would be the right fit for this type of a build. It's obviously not perfect, but it's the same like rural town kind of vibe that I feel like Stars Hollow also has. So I decided to just build it here, even though it's not all the way completely accurate. I still think it looks very cute here, especially with all the fall colors going on. I just love it so much. And actually, I had so much fun doing this that I have decided that I want to do more Stars Hollow builds, Gilmore Girls builds in this particular area of Brindleton Bay, so the town center kind of area. It has, I believe, 5 lots, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it has 5 lots total. Obviously, we're using one for the Gilmore Girls residence. I think I want to build the Dragonfly Inn on the lot across from this one, which makes no sense map-wise when you look at Stars Hollow, but it doesn't matter. I just want to do the builds and then have fun with that. But yeah, I do think that the Dragonfly Inn would look really good on the lot across from this one. And I feel like if you're gonna do multiple Gilmore Girls inspired builds, you're not gonna get away with not doing Luke's Diner. So I think I'm gonna have to do that one. Luke's Diner with the apartment on top. Obviously, I think that Luke's Diner is connected to some other builds. It's like a little block of builds. I think it's connected to either the soda shop or the grocery store, or maybe both. I'm not exactly sure. So I think maybe that will be like a massive lot with multiple builds in one. I'm not exactly sure. One that I'm also very excited for is Kim's Antiques, Lane's house. I definitely want to build that one as well. I think that would be really cute. There's really good inspiration pictures to find of the exterior, especially for Kim's Antiques. So I feel like that would be very fun to do as well. And then, yeah, let me know if there's anything else Gilmore Girls build related that you would want to see in this area. I'm so excited. I had so much fun with it. I had so much more fun than I expected I would have. It wasn't frustrating at all. Obviously, sometimes I really had to deep dive and do some research, but that was the fun part of it too. I built this over on Twitch. So we would just like build a section and then sit back and think for a minute and just look at images from the show, look at inspiration photos, to kind of see how it looks like, how certain rooms look on the interior, what the floor plan looks like, that sort of stuff. So it was so fun to just like build and then sit down and look up some images and then build some more and then repeat that. It was just a lot of fun and it was very cozy. We were all embracing the Gilmore Girls autumnal vibes, and it was so nice to actually build this with people in chat that know the show so much better than I do. So they can point out all these little details that would be cute for the house too. So yeah, I don't know. It was just so much fun to kind of bring it to life in The Sims. Thankfully, especially for this house, a lot of very accurate floor plans exist out there. When you just Google it or look it up on Pinterest, you can find a ton of different, very similar looking floor plans to work off of, which was so very helpful. I actually found one that was done on a grid, which was incredibly helpful because I could just like count the tiles and like how big the rooms were and stuff like that. Obviously, it was never going to be completely accurate because Sims proportions are always going to be a little bit off in The Sims. It's going to always be slightly different. So I definitely had to take some creative freedom here and there, especially when it comes to the second floor of the house. That definitely caused some confusion, and I just wasn't sure how the layout was going to make sense for the second floor. I did find some really good floor plans, but still there is going to be like that remodel of the house as well that you have to take into account, and like what does it look before, what does it look like after. So basically what I did is I just kind of for the second floor combined the before and after remodel vibes. And the layout is not completely accurate, but I just embraced the style and the vibes of the like Lorelai's bedroom and stuff. There's actually not that many pictures to find of Lorelai's bedroom, especially the old one. There is some of after the remodel version of her bedroom. So I just kind of took into account the different color schemes, and I did create 2 bedrooms on the second floor. And then the one thing that I feel like is accurate on the second floor is the bathroom after the remodel. I feel like I got that one down pretty nicely, but still I'm not exactly sure. It's just the second floor of this house will always be a little bit of a mystery. Also, it's obviously not going to completely make sense because it was filmed on a set. Obviously, they use the exterior of the house for scenes as well, and they use the porch and stuff. But for the interior, they actually used sets. It wasn't filmed in the house. So obviously it's always going to be a little bit different. And sometimes there's just going to be little inconsistencies. I feel like that's kind of inevitable with this type of stuff. So yeah, I basically just embraced that and took some creative freedom, and I did what I could with all the pictures I could find and, just with my own creativity as well. But then I feel like what was most important to me was basically like the curb appeal of the house with the shed, the little driveway, and Lorelai's Jeep. At first I parked a truck out there, like an orange truck that didn't make any sense, but was still like a good similar vibe, I guess. But then I came across the debug Jeeps from, I think they are from Cottage Living, if I'm not mistaken. They are very low resolution, bad quality debug cars, but it is a Jeep, and I felt like that was perfect. So I had to park that Jeep there. And I do feel like I got the interior pretty, like this is pretty accurate, I want to say, for the downstairs, especially the kitchen. The kitchen is my favorite. I, again, did have to take some creative freedom with the kitchen when it comes to the colors and the materials, because we don't have that exact same color combination that they have for their counters, for example. They also have some sort of like yellow backsplash tile that we don't really have. So they also have some like pastel green going on. So I kind of just took the pastel yellow and the pastel green, and I used those colors in the kitchen to kind of recreate the same color palette, if you will, and, have it make sense that way. And then here, the living room, I feel like is pretty accurate. I had so much fun with the layout. Obviously, there's the classic staircase. There are so many scenes in the living room, Lorelai coming down from the staircase, people sitting on the couch in the living room, that sort of stuff. I feel like that is very classic, and I think I got that down pretty nicely. Also, something I wanted to do was I wanted to place a piano. The piano is such a mystery to me. I did see the piano in the first season, I think a few times maybe for the first few episodes. But then for some reason at some point the piano kind of disappears, and where the piano used to be, which is not this spot, but I just placed it in this spot because I had space there. Where the piano used to be then later is an extra archway. So I'm not exactly sure how that works. Obviously sets change and things change, and it's TV, it makes sense. But I did see that piano, and I feel like I'm not the only one who has seen the piano. So I decided to place a piano in here because I had a lot of space in the back here of the living room behind the couch. So I figured a piano would be a nice way to fill the space. And one thing that just took me a very long time, but I had so much fun with, was all the clutter in this house. Because if there's one thing about Lorelai's house, it is that it's cluttered. It's messy, it's cluttered, it's very inconsistent when it comes to the furniture. It's just all over the place, and there's so much going on, and that's basically what I wanted to embrace. I felt like that was very important for this house. So yeah, that's what I tried to do, and I think it turned out so fun. Also, unfortunately, we do not have a monkey lamp in this game. If you know, you know, there is the famous monkey lamp that we do not have, that is supposed to be on that little end table there by the piano. But I did choose the lamp from, I think it's from Get Famous. It's a giraffe lamp, if I'm not mistaken. It's not a monkey by any means, but it kind of captures the same energy maybe. So that's what I went for. And then here in the living room, I just really wanted to clutter it up with all the things I could find. We have board games, we have cards. I was thinking of this build, like the setting would be in October, and Rory's birthday is in October, I believe October 8th. Don't ask me why I know this. For some reason, I have this piece of information stuck in my brain. I don't know why. But yeah, I believe it's Rory's birthday on October 8th. And so I thought it'd be cute to put some autumnal cards, but also some birthday cards on the fireplace mantle. I thought that would be so cute. And obviously I had to do all the throw pillows and all the coffee mugs everywhere because you know that Gilmore Girls and coffee go hand in hand. So clearly I had to do all the coffee mugs everywhere, which I thought would make a lot of sense. And I just think is so cute as well. And they have so many rugs in their house. I can't watch this show anymore now without like hyper focusing on what the set looks like, especially when they play scenes in the house. I'm like so focused on what it looks like that I notice all these little things. But yeah, they have so many little rugs everywhere. So I kind of tried to recreate that as well by just placing small rugs in different sections of the house. And then here we have this dresser. In the show, this is not a dresser. It is like an end table with a mirror above it, I believe, for most of the scenes or most of the seasons. But I just felt like I was using too many end tables in too small a space. So I decided to go for this dresser with the mirror. It still has that same like mirror. But that's what I mean when I say I took creative freedom is I looked at the images. Obviously, we don't always have the same stuff, but even if we do have very similar stuff, I still wanted it to look cute in The Sims. So sometimes I made decisions where it could have been more similar, but I just liked how this looked a little bit better, if that makes sense. That's kind of what I went for. And that's why I had so much fun with it too, because I didn't feel too restricted and I didn't feel like I had to really follow a certain pattern. And I believe that's the way to go for me when it comes to creating things from movies and stuff, is I really have to just let myself take that creative freedom and then I'll have so much more fun. Here in the hallway, it's going by really fast, but we do have that mirror item that is incredibly similar to what they actually have in the show. It's from For Rent, so I had to place that thing there. Also, I placed a toolbox on the floor because at one point Luke actually leaves his toolbox there. And then it's been sitting there for so long that Lorelai and Rory started calling it Bert. So we have Bert the toolbox sitting in the hallway. I thought that would be such a cute little nudge to the show as well. And then here we have that really tiny extra hallway that I just wasn't sure what to do with. And we also have the mysterious bathroom on the ground floor. I think it's a bathroom. They mention they have a bathroom on the ground floor every now and then, but sometimes I think they use that door as a closet too. So I'm not exactly sure, but I turned it into a bathroom. And then of course we have the iconic kitchen that I had so much fun with. I cluttered it up to a T. We have way too much clutter in here. It's not actually functional anymore. I cluttered up all the counter space. I also cluttered up the stove. So yeah, you can't use the stove. You can't use any of the countertops in here, which makes so much sense because Rory and Lorelai, they don't cook. They don't eat at home. They only order pizza or they eat at Luke's. That's all they do. They order takeout or they eat out. That's all they do. And it's so funny to me. So yeah, obviously they don't use their kitchen. It is very much cluttered, but they don't cook there. So I made sure that that is not a possibility. Obviously, I had to go and place all the takeout boxes. We have a lot of pizza boxes in here. And for this kitchen, it took me a little bit to figure out how exactly the layout works. And like, for example, what's against the wall where the door to Rory's bedroom is, because you don't see that wall very often other than just the area where the door to Rory's bedroom is located, but not the other side or like this corner. But apparently in this corner here, against the wall, there is a chair with some sort of basket on it for at least one episode. And then there is, I think, a little table next to it, but that was a little bit too cramped. So I just decided to go for a plant. And they have so much stuff on the walls too. So obviously I had to do all these little paintings and little things on the wall, small decorations. And they have some sort of china cabinet or just like a collection of a couple of cabinets or something, or some built-in shelves, I think, against that wall as well. But I couldn't really find anything to resemble that. So I just decided to go for that bar back that came with the bistro kit, I think. So I thought that was really like just the perfect style. So I just decided to go with that. And then here I just started the process of cluttering everything up. They have, size proportion wise, this little area didn't make any sense because they very clearly have a small end table next to their counter on this part, which I tried to kind of recreate as well. But my wall was a little bit too short. short. I could make my wall wider, bigger, to make it so that you could fit a smaller end table next to it, but then the size proportion for the room and the hallway wouldn't make any sense anymore, so I just decided to go with this proportion and just a smaller table. Also in the corner, I had to make some space for Paul Anka, which is their dog. I forget exactly in which season they adopt Paul Anka. Like I said, I'm only on my second ever watch through, and I'm currently on season 2, so maybe Paul Anka will be here somewhere in this season, but I don't think so. I think he is later, but if you know, let me know. Paul Anka is really cute. It's their dog. So I just, I had some space there, so I figured it would be so fun to create a little place for Paul Anka to sleep and to eat. So, and I thought that the egg dog bed was perfect because it would be so Lorelai to get a dog bed in the shape of an egg. I just thought that that would be so perfect. So I obviously had to go with that. And then here I was still cluttering everything up. I was just kind of scrolling through the catalog, seeing what all I could find to plonk down on those counters. And as you can see, the area by the stove, it is not functional. It's not functional by any means. It is completely cluttered up. And so is the stove itself. Also, what I did was I, in some areas, placed just some scratches and things on the walls because I didn't want this house to be disgusting and like nasty or anything, but it is a very old house, especially before the remodel. I feel like it definitely shows that it's very old, so I felt like it would make sense to place some of those details on the wall as well. And then again, one thing that's incredibly important for this house in general is coffee, so I had to create a little coffee nook here. We have a coffee machine. I, for some reason, can't figure out where they have their coffee machine located. Even though they use it a lot in the show, I believe it's on the other counter area. It's like by the stove somewhere. But sometimes I just saw pictures of the kitchen and there was no coffee maker there at all. So I don't know. It's just very unclear to me where exactly it's located. Maybe I did get it in the right spot. I'm not exactly sure, but I just placed it there on the end counter. And then obviously we have some stacked pizza boxes and some milk cartons and stuff like that that they just left out, or maybe they're empty. That's also a possibility, of course. I also saw in one picture that they have a black microwave next to their fridge, so I decided to place that. I felt like that would be pretty accurate. They also have a bunch of stuff stacked on top of the fridge, so I had to go with that. They also have a very small dishwasher, but the smaller dishwashers, even though we have them in The Sims these days, it looked terrible with this particular countertop, so I couldn't do it. I decided to go for a full-size dishwasher, so they're lucky they got a bigger dishwasher. And then here we have this little shelving unit behind the dining table here, where I just placed some cups and some books and some fruit and stuff like that. Not too much fruit because you probably won't be able to find any actual fresh fruit in this house because they only ever eat pizza and burgers and cookies, and that's it. So yeah, that's kind of what I went with. And of course, we have the classic dining table in the middle of the kitchen as well. I went with a smaller round table because I actually wanted a big round table, but those were just a little bit too big. But the small ones were a little bit too small, but I decided to just go for a smaller one anyway, because that would be easier for routing purposes. And yeah, the big one was just too big and it was not really gonna fit with 4 chairs around it. So I just went for a smaller one. So that's what I did. And then off of the kitchen here, we obviously have Rory's bedroom. Again, this is where I had to take some creative freedom when it comes to color scheme. They do continue that same light yellow, pastel yellow wallpaper with the white wood. They kind of continue that throughout the entire downstairs, so it's in Rory's bedroom as well, as far as I could tell. So I just used that in here. She also has like a lot of different little end tables on that side of the bed where I placed the TV. I just decided to go for one longer one and then a smaller one next to it. Otherwise, it would be so many different tables that, as cute as it looks on the set, it looks really weird in The Sims. So I just decided to kind of, you know, merge a couple of those together and just go for one longer one. So that's what I did, and clearly her room would be covered in books and study materials, so that's kind of what I tried to recreate as well. I placed a lot of book stacks and homework looking things, high school year stuff. college looking stuff from the college pack, but I was thinking that this is Rory's high school bedroom. There are a couple different versions of her room. In some of them you'll see this like a small desk in this nook where I placed it. In other versions of her bedroom, I believe there is a dresser in that little nook, but I don't know. I was just kind of going off of the earlier seasons, and that's where she'll have a desk in that nook, I believe, because she's always studying, doing homework, stuff like that. So that's kind of what I went with as well. And then this area, like this wall of her bedroom, again, was a little bit of a mystery to me. I believe there is supposed to be some sort of dresser there, so I just kind of went with the vibes of the place and I came up with something that I felt like could make sense here. So I just, again, combined a couple of like shelving units and dressers together because that's what seems to be happening in this house a lot. And she also has a red chair next to her desk, but I didn't have the space for it, so I decided to place a red chair next to the dresser with the mirror so that it's still represented in the room, but it's not in the proper place. And then those book stacks from the Book Nook kit were actually so perfect, so I had to place a couple of those in her bedroom as well. Maybe those are some of the library books that she still has to return, something like that I thought would be really fun. And then here we obviously have the downstairs bathroom. Again, it's the mystery bathroom. We don't know exactly what goes on in this bathroom, if it even exists, but it is mentioned that they have a bathroom downstairs. They use it sometimes, other people use it sometimes, so there must be a bathroom here somewhere. So I decided to just go with it and create a downstairs full bathroom here. And then the only bathroom upstairs is Lorelai's ensuite. I do think that happens after the remodel when Luke moves in and they remodel the place. I think that's when the upstairs bathroom becomes Lorelai's ensuite. I think before that it's just a hall bathroom. But the only layout pictures I could find had it shown as an ensuite to a bedroom. So that's what I decided to do. And then here we are decorating Lorelai's upstairs bedroom. Like I said already, this is sort of like a mix match of before and after the remodel and just a different type floor plan that isn't very accurate when it comes to the actual house in the show. I think for her old bedroom, Lorelai's bedroom, the door, when you enter her bedroom, you can kind of see the staircase literally right there next to the door into her bedroom, and I just can't figure out how that works. So I decided to just not do that. I let go of it, and I just created something that I felt like made sense here. She does have that like florally, yellowish, pinkish wallpaper in her old bedroom, so I felt like this one from Base Game was very close to that style. So I decided to go for that. I think she actually has a built-in wardrobe in her room too, one that's always open, but I'm not exactly sure what the situation is. So I just kind of decided to merge a couple of wardrobes together to still make it look like it's built in, but it's not necessarily like a walk-in closet or anything. So we have that. There is a built-in closet on the landing, because I thought it would make sense for the floor plan, but it's also nice to just have that there because it is in the show somewhere as well. Then here across, or like by the end of the bed, I kind of decided to create this makeshift vanity type thing with a beautiful big mirror and just some jewelry and some books and things. I'm not exactly sure. Does Lorelai ever read? I don't think she ever reads. Maybe she reads sometimes. She reads magazines, but you know, I just placed a couple of books in her bedroom anyway. I thought that would make sense, and I even placed the high school years pile of clothes on the floor. Don't look at it too closely because it definitely looks like high school clothes, but I felt like it would make so much sense for Lorelai's bedroom. She's just a little bit messy and her bedroom is always going to be a little bit messy, so I felt like that made sense. And then here we have the landing that is pretty massive, I want to say. I just decided to put some storage up here, so we have some bookcases that are very much mismatched. We have an old chair in the corner and then just some storage. I used some of the basement kit clutter and like decorations here to kind of fill up the space a little bit. And then here we have the after remodel ensuite bathroom. They have this, I believe, in the show, it's like a corner shower type thing, but we can't really create that in The Sims. So I just decided to go for a walk-in shower with a glass door. And then I filled up the rest of the area with a tub. I thought that was nice. They do have this double sink, and then they have this very fancy situation where they have a toilet room within the actual bathroom. I just think that is so fancy, and I think it looks so cool. So obviously I had to recreate that in here as well. I also placed laundry baskets here and there because I did actually end up doing placing laundry machines for this house as well. We have this really mysterious area at the back of the house that I think is supposed to be like a screened in porch or whatever, but I just decided to turn it into a fully like closed off storage laundry space, where I just placed the laundry machines. Again, I just kind of, was creative with it. And then here, obviously, we also have the second bedroom upstairs that I kind of, for the color scheme, kind of tried to go with Lorelai's after remodel bedroom color scheme. It has more like blue tones going on. And I decided to turn this into a second or like a third bedroom slash hobby space because Lorelai is very much into sewing. She does like occasionally make clothes for Rory and stuff as well. She's really creative in that sense. We don't have that hobby in The Sims, unfortunately. Hopefully someday that'll still come. But the closest thing I could find to that was the stuff that comes with the Nifty Knitting stuff pack. So I just placed some Nifty Knitting decorations around here to make it look like someone's been crafty in this room, and this room is being used for creative hobbies like that. So that's kind of what I tried to represent here. And I also really like the fresh like splash of blue in here. It's very clear that in Lorelai's after the remodel bedroom, there's a lot of blue tones going on. So I just kind of tried to represent that here. And as you can see, I was just placing some knitting and crocheting little decorations here. I know it's not sewing, but it's close enough, and it kind of represents that same creative skill. It's not the same skill, but you know what I mean, like that same creative vibe. So yeah, that's what I tried to do in here. Again, I really tried to clutter it up to the best of my abilities with it still being functional, because this room, like I would like for this house to still be functional if you want to use it for your actual gameplay. I think that would be a lot of fun. Again, you would have to clear out a little bit of the kitchen for that to be functional, because it's just not functional the way I did it. But let me know, do you think I did a good job for this house? Do you think it's accurate? Are there things that I missed? Let me know if you like it, if you watch Gilmore Girls. I'm so excited to hear from you, Gilmore Girls fans, to see if you enjoyed this, to see if this is, in your opinion, accurate or not. So yeah, just let me know. I'm so excited to share this with you all. Here, obviously, we have the front porch where they have that classic couch setup. They hang out a lot on that couch on the front porch. They have a lot of conversations there. It's really, really cute. So I obviously had to go with that little thrifted looking outdoor couch. Well, it's not an outdoor couch, but it looks like it's been sitting outside for a little bit. So that's what I went with, and I tried to make it more colorful with some extra throw pillows in it and stuff. I believe there's also a rocking chair somewhere on the front porch, so I just decided to place that there by the couch as well. I believe it's not until after the remodel that they actually have a door off of the living room here leading to the side of the porch, but I just decided to place a door there because I thought it would make the most sense. It would be super functional that way, so I just did that. And there is a small round table there and also a grill, which I thought would be a fun item just for gameplay purposes as well. And then here we have that mysterious area in the back of the house that I just turned into a shed with some laundry machines. It's a really cute little laundry space, actually. It's off of the back porch. You have to go over the porch to enter this, and I just feel like it's so cute. And then I obviously also had to go through and place at least a few fall decorations. I almost forgot, but last moment I just decided to place some pumpkins and stuff. Because, I mean, we're building in the fall. This is a fall, like autumnal build. I felt like it made sense to place a couple of pumpkins around the place. I just thought that that was so cute. And just some extra fall decorations. I also placed some fairy lights here by the porch. And then we also obviously still have the garage. And for the longest time, I wasn't sure what to do with the garage until someone reminded me that obviously we had to turn it into Lane's band practice area, because at some point Lorelai decides to basically just give, or just not give it to Lane, but she lets Lane use the garage because she needs an area for her band to practice. away from her mom's or like her family's house because she's not allowed to play in a band. So at some point they start using Lorelai's garage for that, which I think is just so iconic. Unfortunately, we don't have a drum kit. Of course, Lane is the drummer in the band, but we don't have a drum kit in The Sims 2. So or in The Sims 4, we did have one in The Sims 2, but not in this one. So unfortunately, I was not able to place a drum kit, which is so sad because that would have been so perfect. It's such a key element for Lane's garage band. But yeah, unfortunately, no drum set. I still think the band setup is classic though. But yeah, that's basically it. So let's jump into the game and I'll show you the house in real time. So here we have the Gilmore Girls house in the game. I love the facade of the house. I feel like the porch and everything is just so recognizable. It's so iconic and I'm very happy with how it came out. Even though in The Sims stuff is always gonna look a little bit different, I still feel like it's pretty accurate and I'm very happy with how it came out. So yeah, over here we have that little driveway where I parked Lorelai's Jeep. I'll quickly show you the garage first, which is of course where we have Lane's band located without the drum kit. It really sucks, but yeah, there's definitely some band equipment in here and just some storage. And then over here, of course, we have the front porch with the iconic couch. I believe it's more floral in the show, but I just decided to go for this like patterned couch and then I added some color through the pillows. There is some coffee here. Clearly, you gotta have that. And then there is a small lounge chair here as well, or rocking chair, I should say. Around the corner here is where I just placed an extra little table and also a grill. I believe there's some sort of table on this side, but I'm not exactly sure. Then going inside, this is where we have the hallway. I think the hallway is pretty accurate. I was mostly excited about this unit here. I don't know what to call this, but this thing with the mirror, it's so similar to the one that they have in the show. So I was so happy about that. We have Luke's toolbox here on the floor as well. Just a dresser. And then this was a guess. I just placed some stuff down that I thought would look cute. Then there is so many archways, but basically over on this side is where we have the living room space, which I think is pretty iconic. There is a fireplace. We have all the clutter everywhere. The TV on the tiny little side table here. The classic staircase that's used so much in the show. There is a dresser here. I believe from the top of my head there are some like embarrassing childhood photos of Rory on this thing. We don't have that, but I did put up some little pictures. I placed the piano here, which is not actually accurate. It's not there in the show, but I just really wanted to use a piano somewhere since it is used on set at some point. Well, it's not actually used, but it's there. This is our version of the monkey lamp. It's a giraffe. And then through here, we have the archway leading you into, I guess, the second hallway, and this leads you into the kitchen. I'm so happy with how this kitchen came together. I had so much fun with all the clutter. There's so much to look at here. All the stuff on top of the fridge, pizza boxes everywhere, takeout, coffee beans, coffee maker, all the cups and things over here in this cabinet, and then this area of the kitchen that is just so cluttered. So many pots and pans, cereal. They eat a lot of cereal, so I had to include that as well. And then of course the classic round dining table that's always cluttered as well. And I felt like these magazines would totally be Lorelai's. That makes a lot of sense. In the corner here we have Paul Anka's area with a little bed and the bowls. And then off of the kitchen is of course Rory's bedroom. Try to recreate the Harvard posters by just placing some Foxbury University flags here on the wall and some posters and whatnot. And then this area is all the way cluttered. She has a tiny TV in her room, and then of course all the study material and books and everything. She also has this chest at the end of her bed. I believe it's red in the show, but this one just made a lot more sense size-wise. There is some storage over here and just some clothes and stuff, and then her desk, of course, in this little nook here. On this side is the mysterious bathroom, which is actually very nice and spacious. A shower tub combo, a nice sink with some counter space as well, like some storage. So yeah, there's that. Then upstairs, we have the landing that I just basically turned into storage. Over here is, I guess, the second upstairs bedroom slash hobby space. This one's very blue. I love the mismatched bedside tables. That is such a Gilmore Girls thing to do. And then over here, we have that little craft space, hobby space with a desk and some nifty knitting items. And then on this side is Lorelai's bedroom. I wish this frame of the bed came with a more like floral pink-ish bedding, but it does not. I really liked the wood color though, so I just went with this one anyway. She does have some sort of floral lamp on her nightstand on this side, so I went with this one. I merged some wardrobes together for like a built-in moment. And over here on this side, I just placed a bunch of clutter, some cookies. Maybe over here she's looking at some colors for a potential remodel. I'm not exactly sure. Some sort of vanity over here. And then this is the door into the ensuite. This is such a fancy bathroom. They have a nice double sink moment. There is a tub on this side, a walk-in shower, and a toilet room within the bathroom, which I feel like is just so fancy. I love how that came out. And then of course, over here we have the back porch, which is also used a lot in the show. I just placed an outdoor bin here, and of course we have that little laundry space on this side as well. But that is basically gonna do it for this build. So this Gilmore Girls house is up on the gallery. It's by no means a limited pack build. I did not hold back. I tried to find all the things that would make sense in here. So I built it on a 30 by 30 in the world of Brindleton Bay. So if you want to place it in your game, that's where it goes. And it comes in at just over 110,000 simoleons. So I want to say that Lorelai definitely had a little bit of money to spend, you know? But that's gonna do it for today's video. So I really hope that you enjoyed this one. You can obviously go ahead and download this build off the gallery like I just showed you. My username on the gallery is Simmary Sims. You can follow me on Instagram and on TikTok if you'd like. My username on there is Simmary Sims as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so. And if you'd like to get notified of every single time I upload a video, just click that little bell icon and you should be fine. I also live stream over on Twitch a few times a week, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and give me a follow over on twitch.tv/Simmary Sims. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!